again, this video is going to show you how to lace your corset in the straight European fashion. But before we begin, I just want to say a couple words on straight versus straight. The Long Island State Lace Association's website tells you the difference between straight lacing versus straight lacing. Straight without the GH is supposed to mean very neat and proper. Straight with the GH means literally straight. A man named Ian Fegan has a website showing many different ways to lace your shoes. And actually many of these different lacing techniques also apply to corsets. So this here is the European straight lacing technique. And actually in France, many corseted women use this style of lacing for their own corsets. So it is historically accurate. So you can see in the back, the laces go straight across, and on the underside you can see that it crisscrosses. So this is actually a very neat way of lacing your corset. If you have a gap in your corset, it might look a little bit messier, but when it's closed you can see that it looks very nice. There are a few speculations as to why this style of lacing was so popular at the time. Some of these included the fact that these laces are going straight across, and so they're a lot easier to pick up with your fingers when you're lacing another person or yourself. Another reason is the fact that these laces would be very easy to cut with a knife or scissors if a lady were to swoon or faint in public. So I just tied a knot in the center of this obnoxiously pink cord, and here I am finding the ends. The knot is going to be on the upper side of the corset with both sides going down into the top two grommets as shown here. Choose one side to start, it doesn't really matter which side. I chose the left string. I crossed it under and brought it up through the front of grommet number 2 on the right side, and then directly across back to the left side and threaded it to the underside of grommet number 2 on the left side. I hope that made sense. Now comes the right string. Bring it underneath to the left side. Thread it up through left grommet number 3, directly across to the right again, and thread it down through right grommet number 3. Left string again. Bring it underneath to the right side. Thread it up through right grommet number 4, directly across to the left side again. Thread it down through left grommet number 4. Continue following that pattern until you get to the true waist of the corset. To form your loops, simply thread the cord down through the next grommet instead of over to the other side. However, if you like, you can just forego the loops and keep doing this pattern all the way down to the bottom of the corset because it would look really neat. Does anybody else think this corset is starting to look like a watermelon? When you've reached the bottom grommets, just tie the ends of the cord into a knot. And just as a little add-on, a little FYI, if you actually put the bow at the bottom of the corset instead of in the middle, you can actually wear a shirt over this corset, and because the laces are all going straight across and they're all even instead of X's over and under, then this is going to minimally show bumps underneath your shirt. And here's how you would tighten the corset on yourself. First, you want to take up as much slack as possible by pulling the loops. Then you want to start plucking the strings from the top down to the loops, and then from the bottom up to the loops. I'm visibly having some trouble here because I usually do this in front of a mirror. It's the same process as the other self-lacing videos I had made, except you're pulling only one string instead of 2. It will take some getting used to since you won't be pulling both sides at the same time. It's one and then the other in an alternating fashion. I think that's the best I can do for now. I swear I was able to close this corset before. Fie! Fie, you bloating! So I hope this was useful. Let me know if any of you decide to try this lacing method. I would love to see it on other people. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!